Good morning. It is early morning and I'm on vacation this week. My husband's off today, so we decided that we were going to take on Operation Apple Butter. So we've got a little bit of an assembly line going on. My husband is peeling the apples. I am going to core them. Sometimes easy, sometimes not. We're going to give them just a real rough chop. And we're going to get them in this bowl. You can't see, let me put you down just a little bit. This bowl is full of Sprite. And we're just going to keep going until we get the bowl full. We have our first bowl full of apples. So what we're gonna do is strain them out of the Sprite into our crock pot. We filled up our crock pot and we are going to add a half a cup of water. This is gonna cook for 6 to 8 hours on low. And we're going to make sure that we are stirring the apples throughout to make sure that all of the mixture is warming up and the heat is getting dispersed thoroughly. Okay guys, we're about halfway through cook time and I wanted to show you what our apples were looking like. They're cooked down. Our house is really starting to smell good. And I've stirred them one other time. I'm gonna go through all of my batches and get them stirred up to make sure that all of the apples are cooking evenly. Okay guys, our apples have been cooking for several hours and we're now to the point where it's time to add our spices. We've added 2 cups of sugar. We're gonna add some tablespoons of cinnamon. Recipe calls for 3. I will have this recipe linked in the description box below. And this is just a starting point because they said that it all depends on how sweet your apples are. You may want more or less of something. The cinnamon's not coming, there we go. A teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, ground cloves. We're going to give this a good mix. We're gonna let this go just a little bit uncovered to make sure that that sugar all gets dissolved. And then we're gonna give it a taste to see what we think, how it is. And once we get the seasoning right, then we're gonna use our immersion blender to get it all fine, like applesauce consistency, so to speak. If it is still runny at that time, then we will continue to cook it for a couple hours with the lid off. So that's kind of our plan for all of our batches. All right, we have let this cook for several hours uncovered, and now we are just taking the immersion blender and grinding up the large chunks of apples. And this is the consistency that you're looking for, and we are going to keep letting this cook uncovered. All right, so now we're to the canning stage. So what we're gonna do is we are going to fill our jars and leave what's called headspace. And so we're gonna fill them up to about this level. My husband is putting the lid and the ring on the jars, and we're putting them in a water bath processor. We'll show you those as soon as we get done. These jars have all been sterilized. My husband is wiping the top off of the jar and making sure there's nothing that would prevent the seal, and then he's moving it to the water bathroom. After we finish doing all 4 crock pots, we will come back and give you the total of how many that we were able to can up. And then we'll be sure to show you what the water processing canner looks like as well. And this is our water bath that I was talking about. The jars stay in the water bath for 25 minutes to process. On your recipe, it will tell you based on the size of jar. So if it's a half pint, if it's a pint, if it's a quart, it will tell you if it the amount of time that the jars need to process in the water bath. We just finished up, and this is everything that we canned from our 4 batches of apples. These will sit overnight, and we'll let these sit and make sure that they're all sealed in the morning. I'm sorry, y'all, that's my dog, who always has to be loud when I'm on camera. But we're gonna let these sit out and cool off, and hopefully everything will seal. We'll check it in the morning. Good morning, y'all. We just finished up breakfast and wanted to check our jars. Every jar sealed. So these are now ready to be marked and put in our canning closet. Just wanted to thank you guys so much for following along as we started this project yesterday of making and canning some crock-pot apple butter. I cannot wait to give it a try. We resisted to try first thing this morning, and we are going to have some biscuits and gravy tomorrow and try our apple butter on some biscuits. So thank you again for watching. Don't forget, Jesus loves you. I'll see you in the next video.